Okay, just wanted to make sure that we're on the same page here. I'm sorry this video is getting out a little bit late. I've been breaking down film today and wanted you guys to be aware of what some changes or some things that you'll need to do this week to stay on pace. What we're going to be working on is quite a bit of reading. Hopefully you finish your papers today and you don't have to worry about that anymore. So I just want to kind of point you in the direction of some helpful tips and get you going for tomorrow. If you look at the calendar, when you open up tomorrow's activities, you can see that it's clearly cut off. We have 3 questions from the bell ringer and then nothing else that's going to be happening in class. So whenever you see that being cut off, or just in general, you might make it a good practice to go to the agenda. And then choose the day that we're going to be working on, Middle Ages Church. As it opens up there, you can see that we're going to do a simulation of a Latin Mass. The video is attached. It's part of your activities for tonight or tomorrow during seminar. And then in your discussion board, answer the questions, what are you supposed to get from Mass? If the people of the Middle Ages did not speak Latin, what did they get that you did not? And how did illiterate people gather the information about right living, saints, sacraments, and salvation? After the simulation, we're going to talk about a couple of things. Your reading, 219 to 224, should have some time to do that. As I said, Mondays are going to be the times for that reading now, so just providing a little bit of time. Be careful with this time. If you're not using the time wisely, then we'll just go ahead and move on. The other option for flipped instruction I'll give you in class. Pay close attention to pages 222 to 224, and then there is another opportunity for you if you'd rather not read in class. If you want to do an extra credit opportunity, which I don't usually give, but in this instance we're covering a lot of ground in a short time, and I wanted you to have access to this opportunity. But you can research and organize a medieval advertisement on right living to be displayed during our feudalism study on the bulletin board in the back of the room. If you're so inclined, you could also do the story of a saint or something of that nature and include it. Google Draw, I think, would be a great place to do some of this stuff. You could probably make a pretty cool stained glass window, even if you don't have a lot of artistic ability, which you guys know that I don't. So that's the calendar adjustment that we'll talk about. My wife taught me that, by the way. And we're going to jump back to the home page here. We're going to open up the textbook, and while that's loading, which it's already logged in for me, which is good, we'll go and show you the week. As just a reminder, we're working on Try It Out Tuesday, Village Church. Here's the Pater Noster. The directions are going to be right here, and here's your week 15 Tuesday confirmation. You guys have this table of contents over here. You select where you're going. It'll take you there. You can close it down. So let's jump into the textbook. Need to go to 219. We're going to hit go. When you're looking at 219, you're going to see a few different things. I've highlighted some things for you, and I've added some pins. Anywhere you see a pin, you can click on the pin, and it should open up. Double click on the pin. Economy/government, please add to your note guide. So this highlighted section here, it's going to talk to you about feudalism. We talked a lot about that in our blog. As you continue on, here's another pin. Double click, opens up. This is a short version of the paragraph above. This would be the great definition for those of you that are not looking to go too deep into what you're doing here. And you just throw that in underneath government and or economy, and you're adding to your note guide. Remember, we're going to be doing our notes on your own paper, and you're going to be using Cornell Notes. So let's turn to the next page and find out what's happening. A structured society. Little note here. This talks to you about social structure, so you're going to want to add that underneath social structure, obviously. Here's something that I found interesting if you're into medieval times. This is a Motte and Bailey castle, some battering rams, and a battle in action with catapult. There's some interesting stuff that we talked about with the catapult. If you watched the video on death last week, you know that the catapult was used for some very, very interesting things. Continuing on to the next page. I'm going to go double page on this so you can see what that looks like. We're going to zoom out just a little bit. You can double click. There's that note. Close. No other highlights on here necessarily. So briefly through that page we could skim. Double click here. Social structure continued. This is going to talk to you about the role of women in the medieval times. If you come over here, this tells you overview of feudalism, add to government, economy, and social structure on your note guide. If you remember, feudalism and the manor system, which is talked about down here, was actually in Mr. Daniel's blog, and this part is highlighted for you. You might want to add that into your notes. A couple more pins. Social structure, this is in addition to what was presented on Mr. Daniel's blog. Please note the differences between serfs and slaves. And on to the next page. The last thing here is obviously the things that are in color in the margins, the pictures, the graphics. Those are the keys. These are the tools that were used for harvesting wheat, pictured at the top. These actually are tools used for harvesting, but also used for weapons in times of need when the peasants were sent out with the lords to battle for their safety. And then if you continue on to page 226, the importance of the village church. Here's how you actually add a pin. So if you guys wanted to add pins to things that you found interesting, you can add one here. This will help you with your exit slip. So just kind of some key things. Close that out. Reading about monasteries over here. So this is what we'll focus on tomorrow. We're going to try and simulate it. And I hope that when you come in, you just sit down and we will go ahead and jump into the discussion. If you have time, please go back to the website and watch the Pater Noster and then answer those questions in the discussion. Thank you and have a good evening.